That.
Yeah, man.
It's a fan favorite. Ron produced it.
Okay, here we are. Another week. Week what, 49, 50, 60?
One more than last week.
Yeah. So what you did
Last week was like 44.
Good? Come on, Mike. Well, tell us. You always got a good life.
I played golf this weekend. That was pretty much it.
No, you did not. You did something else. You went to the Panthers game.
I did go to the Panthers game Friday night. Yeah.
Yeah, how was it?
It was fun.
What do you think? I mean,
it's hard to, it's preseason. So, I mean, Shore looked pretty good, but, he's playing against the worst defense in NFL history with some additions and second stringers. And I don't know. It's the offense looked pretty good.
So what about your hoop crew on Thursday? You won, right?
Thursday we won, yeah.
There we go. That's good.
Yeah, what'd you do, Ron?
Let's see what I did. My life is so good, man. I think I watched a new Netflix series. No, I think LB came up one day.
Nice.
I didn't really do work. I'm working on work right now.
Working on
runny hats. I mean, I did have my biggest hat order this week on runny hats. Did you see that, Brett?
I did.
I sold 8 at one time.
Whoa.
And I'm up to $1,500. Thanks for all the support of Ronnie Hats. I mean,
You're welcome.
I have some people said I couldn't make it, but I'm almost there. I'm always back to even.
They did say that.
So they said about our talk show too. So
What about our guest today, Ron?
I don't know who we got.
You introduce your friends.
Frank
yeah.
Garcia, been my friend
Our
for
friends.
so damn
Friends
long.
of the show.
DJ Stout's been my friend for so long. Why don't you guys introduce yourself?
Well, I've been on here before.
Reoccurring guest.
Reoccurring guest.
Yeah.
Co-host too.
Co-host. I've been doing this for a while with you guys. I can't believe you're up to 50 weeks or however many weeks in a row.
Like that,
It flies by.
I know.
But I'm Frank. Been doing this I've been knowing Ron for 30 years since we've been here in Charlotte. We had some businesses together.
Sunset Club.
Yeah, I paid him a lot of money on the golf course.
Yeah.
He usually wins. His 20 handicap that he carries when he is
20.
He'd go out there when par 4 or 5 holes in a row,
Weird.
Worth all the money when all the carryovers mattered, and Ron would show up.
Yeah, it's weird how that works, Ron.
Well, I need money.
Yeah, and my other partner in crime over here, DJ, I've known for as long, if not longer. We've grown our kids up together. We're best friends. He was my boss. We do a podcast.
6'10", right? You did 6'10".
Yeah. No, he's the suit. DJ the suit Stout.
Did you do John Boy and Billy? No.
I interned for John Boy and Billy. That's how I got into the business. I was an intern for them. I'd gotten kicked out of school for a little trouble I got into and interned with those guys, and then started the sports station and ended up running that. I ran FNZ, I think, from 97 to 14 or 15 when we sold it, and I ran WSOC, the country station, I think from early 2000s to 2018, and do stuff. That's how I met you, really. I knew you, but we would do the Redneck Yacht Club, and I would bring the artist after a lot of times. We'd come into Red Rocks and sit at the corner booth and
Nice.
partake in some cocktails.
And he's also a national award winner for Market Manager of the Year for, he's won awards for country music.
Nice.
And I think the one thing that he won't brag about himself as much as I'll brag about him because, like I said, he's like my brother, and we're best friends. So, he's one of the guys that is, if you're starting off in music and country music, he has a great ear for talent, and he would always find the new up and coming guys. So, who are some of the guys that you started with on the radio?
Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan, guys like Eric Church. Eric Church, I think we brought in here after Redneck Yacht Club one time. Luke Bryan too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Who's the young guy that you brought over to the house? Plays Heaven, Heaven's for Real, or the song, I can't think of his name
Justin
right now.
Moore?
No, light-skinned black guy.
Oh, Kane Brown?
Kane Brown. He brought Kane Brown.
Nice.
Kane Brown was at his house playing for a bunch of his friends.
I enjoyed all that.
Yeah, and Ron, you'd come to some of those at Redneck Yacht Club and some of the other places.
Why didn't I ever get invited to the house? That's what I want to know.
Well, I barely got invited.
On Instagram, Michael. Oh yeah, you're my good friend. Never got invited.
Ron had
Those
bad
usually came on pretty quick. But I need a new hat that says "Thanks, Frank" on it.
He's
very kind.
I wish somebody would sell me like
It's
that.
It's a Frank thing.
Yeah.
It's a Frank thing.
No, I remember when you were in that office at, I don't say WFNC, the WSOC.
Yeah.
And what you would do with your job, right? If somebody would want to put their CD on or their Well, I don't know.
Basically, I controlled everything on the radio besides sales spots. So the disc jockeys, whatever songs were going to get played. So that was me. So when a record label would have a new artist, they would bring them to town and let them play for me, so I could get acclimated to them, see if I like them or whatever. They would send me their songs. A lot of the artists would start sending me songs the day they wrote them. What do you think about this or that? And yeah, so I just kind of.
Was there any wild stories like they get on the radio? Like, does anybody do anything like payola? I would say payola.
What's the craziest thing they did for money?
Yeah, to get on the radio.
Unfortunately, I missed that window. I got in late.
So tell them how that used to work. The
there
payola.
was many stories that I'd heard before about guys getting their cars paid for or their house payments paid for, or you'd walk into the office and they'd have a line of cocaine on a record player, and but that was all before me. Like Frank missed the boat with all these NFL guys getting paid a bunch of money.
Yeah.
I missed the payola boat, which is probably a good thing because I probably would have been in jail or divorced more than I've already been.
What's your take on the music scene today? Country music. You got a favorite artist? You like the Morgan Wallen?
It's not even country anymore, is it? It's not even country.
I like Morgan a lot, and Morgan's a good example of some crazy stories. And then once he got in some trouble, they kind of shut him down. But I really like the red dirt stuff more than anything now. Like the Zach Bryans and the
What's
the
red
Co
dirt
Wetzels.
mean? What does that mean to me?
Texas, Oklahoma, that kind of stuff. But Co Wetzel, Zach Bryan, Turnpike Troubadours. I kind of dig that more than some of the new stuff coming out in country. Country definitely has become more poppy than it was when I was really into it. I came from Waylon Jennings and Hank Williams Jr. And
I like more the old time. I like Sturgill Simpson. Is one of my favorites.
Like him a lot.
I love Sturgill Simpson. I mean, it took me a while to get on the Morgan Wallen bandwagon, but I do like him.
Morgan's good.
He's good.
He's really good.
Yeah.
He has so many great songs too.
Yeah.
It's like Kane Brown. I mean, same thing.
Yeah.
He comes out with a new album. You're going to listen to it.
Yeah.
And not only for us, it's like our girls like to listen to those things too. So
is Taylor Swift country?
Not anymore. She hasn't been in a long time.
How has Spotify and those changed the music world?
It changed it a lot because it made radio not as important as it had been. Radio used to be the only way to break an artist and then get your songs played. And then with all these streaming services came out, it kind of ate away. So you see the record labels had to change the way they do business. Artists, the way they do business. What Spotify and those things really did that changed it is that it kills songwriters. So songwriters get paid pennies on the dollar when their song plays on a streaming service, whereas when it plays on radio, they get paid a lot more. So the streaming services really hurt songwriters.
I feel like social media too for upcoming artists. Like you can discover some really good artists just on Instagram. People just making their own.
Yeah, I mean Zach Bryan. That's how he got started. Was just putting songs up on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and kind of took off from there. And that's happening a lot now. Record labels actually have budgets now just to go get people who are hitting it on social media.
Yeah.
So what are they looking for? Hits?
They want to see how many streams they get, how many downloads they get, and then if they're touring, how many tickets they sell. Because if you can go get a guy that already has that built, it saves the record companies a lot of money.
Yeah.
So they have a budget now where they'll go get some of these guys who hit it on TikTok or whatever.
What's so crazy is like guys like Harry Mack. And I don't know if you know who he is or not, but he's like a white dude that raps off the top of his head. And he's super talented, but unless you've heard him on TikTok or one of the social media apps, you would never have heard him. But he has over probably 20 million views, guys like that. But those guys are breaking through now too, right?
Oh man, it's nuts. I mean, you'll see. We had a guy, and I don't remember his name, but he did one of our festivals this past summer, and we talked about booking him on another one like a year later, and this dude's already wanting like $300,000.
Wow.
I mean, it's nuts.
Beyonce's your favorite country singer, right?
Who my guy is, Nelly, so that's all I'm going to say. But,
he broke into country a little bit, too.
Yeah, I mean, he got smart. I mean, it's funny that even with Nelly, I remember we were like, COVID, we were struggling. No, I say we. I always say it with Denny, too. Me and Nelly. But we were struggling to get acts and stuff. And then, they kind of took a downturn a little bit where they find out that how important money is, that they all hit a little rock bottom. Wouldn't you say that during COVID?
Yeah, and then when we came out of COVID, they were all touring crazy just to try to make up the money that they had lost, and all the bars that would book those guys had gotten killed from COVID. So they didn't have the money a lot of times to pay these guys what they were wanting. So booking artists is a lot harder these days than it used to be.
I think you helped me, or Bob Durkin did with Denny's birthday party.
We did. We had Michael Ray, I think.
Michael Ray for like 30. The funny thing about Michael Ray's story was he said, I just need a driver. And so Greg Finelli, right? Yeah. I called Greg up. We said, will you drive Michael Ray around for the day?
Yeah.
And so he knew what I do was. So Greg pulls up and he's taking him to Target and that. And then we had Chris and Corey Lane, who I met.
Yeah.
And that was good. And obviously, when you go to Denny's house at the bowling alley and everything else,
we did that after the show. That was a blast that night.
Yeah.
Who was the comedian that put on the FedEx driver suit and got
that's
water?
What's his name? He kind of wore me out. He's a great guy, but
he's from North Carolina or something. But he put on like a FedEx driver suit or something, and I guess went on social media. And I think FedEx was pissed or something.
Yeah, well, first thing we didn't know. We were trying to keep it quiet, but he wanted to hold me hostage for. That's why I'm not mentioning names, but he wanted to hold me hostage for Denny to get on his podcast or something. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm not Denny. Like, I just said if you played, like, I didn't guarantee anything. I'm not like his art. I'm just his friend.
Manager, yeah.
I just did his birthday party, and you wanted to play, but then remember, I don't know if you remember, he did like 45 minutes. We're trying to get him off the stage.
Yeah.
Michael Ray was coming. I didn't really know Michael. Michael's become a good friend. I like Michael a lot.
He's a
and
good
Corey can, obviously, that's how we met.
You know what's funny is people use you to get to Denny. People use me to get to you. I know the owner.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I know the owner hat's coming out. I'll sign it for you, too. I mean, it is funny B2B, like DJ. I've known DJ and his wife for a long time.
Yeah.
It's like you have. And he's always been... and I think where you live is like, I think if you live close to me, you'd be at my house, right?
Yeah.
Same with you when you live so far away. And we got lucky to have Sherry here. When I saw Sherry walk in today, and she lives in Ballantyne, then she brought the mayor-elect in here.
That's right.
What do you call it, mayor-elect, I guess?
Sherry knows everybody.
Mayor-elect, is that what they call it?
Candidate. Yeah, she's
But
running.
she got run.
Mayor-elect soon.
Hope to say
If
that.
you're elected, then that means you got voted
Yes.
in. Why vote her in? She's
in your
her
book.
hat, that mayor-elect.
Yeah, you should get her
She can
hat.
wear the mayor-elect hat.
A little pink hat with some white lettering on it.
So she, do you know her? Do you know Terry White? I guess we're trying to get a Republican, right?
Yeah, that's right. We're getting to know her, and I think she'd be a great candidate from what I've heard. And she's doing a great job right now, trying to grassroots something and get some momentum going. So. Hopefully we can get that ball rolling and, maybe get a conservative here back in Charlotte. It's been a long time since we've had one. And
Pat McCrory, right?
Pat McCrory, yeah. So he's a good friend of mine as well. So getting in his ear would probably be beneficial to her.
Yeah, I think, all I know, if you're a friend of Sherry, you're a friend of mine, right?
That's right.
Period. And, I told DJ.
Well, you guys have been best friends longer than we have.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, back in the day, she liked me. So who wouldn't want to date Ron?
That's right.
I was like the Bachelor, you know what I mean, with the rose. I need to have a rose committee here one day, Mike.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Maybe we could get,
This is probably 30 years ago. I just happened to be in Vegas one day. Didn't know he was going to be there. And I come out, I think I was staying at the Mirage. And I come out of the Mirage in my room, and who do I see coming down the hall? Ron.
Oh, no.
Ron and his entourage. He has his entourage. Of all places to meet Ron, he's out in Vegas, not knowing he was going to be there. Yeah.
My best story in
He just
Vegas,
showed up.
Yeah. Like talking old school, was when Ric Flair, when I was going out with Kelly, and I said, you know anybody at Bellagio? I said, oh yeah, I'm VIP, which means I lost a lot of fucking money. Excuse my language. I lost a lot of money, right? So I brought Ric Flair, and that's when The Rock was there. And then when Kelly went down, she was taking pictures of The Rock in those old-style cameras. And the security guard went up and said, no pictures. And I'll never forget Ric Flair. He went up to that security guard and grabbed him. He says, you ever touch one of my friends, it would be a problem. And he goes to Kelly, now, give me your camera. But The Rock was there when he made it. But that is funny about... B2B, Rick used to eat at the bar. You've seen,
Rick and I used to be like celebrity judges on these bikini contests.
Oh, yeah.
And he would
There
pick
we
me
go.
up like in his limo, and I mean, those are some crazy nights as well. But Rick's a good dude, man.
Well, the South Park location, Red Rocks, has a lot. Back in the day, a lot of people would eat there. Like, a lot of the Hornets, Panthers, and even Coach Canales eats there.
Yeah.
But Rick and his kid, that's the first time I ever saw a kid, his son who passed away. But he would eat steak and lobster at 12 years old. And I'm like, I used to eat chicken fingers.
or Freakies.
Yeah. We talked. Oh, Freakies. We asked.
I'm surprised you didn't eat cereal. You
cereal.
remind me of a. Oh, it is cereal.
Freakies. Yeah, have you heard?
I've never heard of
Me
Freakies.
either.
What is Freakies?
Freakies is a cereal.
Ask this guy. He's the only one. He's the only one that knows what this is on the show.
I ate it as a kid. And
Freakies?
I had a
That
Freakies
explains a lot.
lunchbox.
Yeah.
I had a Freakies lunchbox, and now it's worth $5,000, by the way, on eBay. So
I have
we were
never in
asking-
my life heard of Freakies.
Well, that's
have,
because
but
you're
you
not a
didn't eat
freak.
it.
Yeah.
Has somebody Googled this to make sure this is a
We
real
looked
story?
it up. We've asked every guest if you heard of Freaky cereal. No one
Because
has
they're
heard
not
of
my age. I mean,
I'm your
obviously.
age, kind of.
Right, kind of, right? Everybody thinks I'm younger, but I'm old enough that I eat Freakies. It was a northern thing. It was a TV show. It was like a cartoon, and you go online and you buy it.
I've heard of Corn Pops. I've heard of
Yeah,
Frosted
yeah.
Flakes,
Right.
Golden Grams.
Well, what did you eat? I asked you earlier. What did you eat?
I wasn't a big cereal guy.
Okay, you didn't eat cereal.
I mean, I stopped eating cereal like when I was 7.
But what was it?
Frosted. I mean, whatever we
Right.
could afford.
Right,
Whatever
okay.
was left over. I mean, I had 7 brothers and sisters, so cereal's like one of the first things to go. And milk. I mean, if that was a luxury.
Well, a lot of people, Cinnamon Crunch has been
Cinnamon
one of the
Toast
popular-
Crunch, yeah.
That's been a popular. What about your son? What's he eat?
He doesn't eat cereal. He eats a lot of eggs, pancakes, burritos.
And you already told me the lunch bag you didn't get, which I'm sad about that.
Well, you know
I mean,
what?
everybody got a lunch bag. See, now you went to the cafeteria.
Yeah, well, I was a cafeteria guy for sure, and I always looked for the sticker. I don't know if you guys knew this. So if there was a sticker underneath your milk carton, you got an extra lunch.
What?
That was at my So I was always
bet you Frank
I would
Marshall
always
milk
pan
carton.
through. I'd always pan through
Yeah.
the trays. And
No
if there
way.
was yes, you got a free lunch.
I've never heard this.
Yeah.
I was on the free lunch program, so I ate cereal. Like I don't even keep it in the house because
Yeah.
if I come home one night,
Well, what was your
drunk,
cereal, DJ?
I love Fruity Pebbles.
Yes. I'm there
Which
with you,
that
man.
Freakies might go.
I
along
love
with it.
Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, Fruity Pebbles is
Well,
probably my
Freakies
go-to.
is different, but you'll see when you get a box. I'm gonna buy this.
Is Fruity
stupid
Pebbles
five-
different than Fruit Loops?
I'm gonna buy
Yeah,
a $5,000 box of Freakies. I'm getting ready to pay it on eBay, but I got to see if I get a better deal. But I will have this box or my Christmas present be Freakies box of
There you
cereal.
go, let's
But
go.
now, what about your lunch bag? Because Nate's dad drew on his lunch. No, the kid LJ, who was
No, it was Nate. Yeah.
yeah, his dad would draw pictures on his lunch bag.
See, I was on free lunch, so I would just go and
Yeah.
So you didn't have to do.
We
you,
had no money,
You
so-
like what? Do you like Twinkies? You like Suzy Q's? What do you
Oh,
got?
God.
I love. What are the ones? Ding dongs.
Oh, ding dogs.
Yeah, not like Fruity Pebbles and Ding Dongs. I know what you're saying. But
And Freakies.
We can
yeah.
have a Twinkie
And the
Ding
Fruit
Dongs.
Loops.
But I love Ding Dongs.
We got a
I
ding
love
dong
Ding
and Twinkie at the same time.
I love Ding Dongs.
Should I be
So
beeping this
Freddie
out?
loved this. Freddie loved Twinkies, and I like Twinkies, and we were having a Twinkie party. But shit, we have the ding
What were
dongs.
the ones? The Suzy Q's, right?
Yeah, I
The-
love
good.
Suzy.
Yeah.
Q's.
the big
Yeah.
Dude, I've been looking for them. They're done.
They don't have them anymore.
I've been telling LB and Renee I want to get some, and I can't
the
find
closest thing you can come to is like a Swiss cake roll.
I like those
Yeah.
too. Swiss rolls,
Yeah.
I like those.
Yeah,
But they're-
I mean, now you're talking my language. I mean, I'm a snack guy.
Yeah.
You know, cherry pies, those little cherry pies. I used to
eat
steal
those.
those when I was a
What
kid.
are they called? They're called something.
Cherry pies.
Cherry pies.
Oh, the little. Okay.
Yeah, the mini
Okay,
wrapped
yeah.
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
They have like pineapple, and so I'm Hispanic, so we eat all the
shit.
the fruit stuff, right? Pineapples, pumpkin. You know, we'd call them empanadas, but they were really just fruit pies. Is what
So
they
what
were.
was your favorite? Pumpkin or cherry? Or?
No, cherry was my favorite. Pineapple's pretty good too.
Now-
If you get a good pineapple, that's not bad either.
When you went through McDonald's, did you get the? Because they used to sell that.
Yeah, the little hot
McDonald's
cherry
used to sell
pies.
them. Do they
The
do
hot
it
cherry
anymore?
I
pies.
don't think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Ugh, those are nasty.
Hot cherry pies.
I can't eat
Too, man.
I don't like hot fruit.
Did you eat the McRib?
No, that's it. I had to cut off the
I
McRib.
did. Those are good.
See, I could never understand. You go to a burger joint to get a rib. It just, I mean, it would be like me going to a salad place and getting a steak.
No,
It's not the same.
We talked about earlier. What's your wildest thing that you ever did for money? Like
The
not
crazy.
the craziest thing. You said you ate something. You're telling me.
Oh, I didn't even do that for money.
goldfish.
I just did that for. We all did stupid things when we were younger. You know, when you're in college, you're trying to impress your boys, and you know you have a couple of drinks in you. I was a pledge, a fraternity guy, my first year, so. You know, I have all the guys over there kind of rooting you on, and everybody has like a challenge that you're supposed to do. Well, this challenge was goldfish, right? Everybody in my family was eating one goldfish. And I said, what's the record? They said 4 or 5. So they had a bag full of these goldfish that were floating around in this little bag. And I said, okay, well, give me that bag.
Oh, like an actual goldfish.
Live goldfish.
Oh, I thought you meant the snack.
No. no, the real live goldfish. Okay. And I said, I'm gonna shatter this record. And I just went down. I have an ability to open my throat and take it. Oh, that's gonna sound.
You sure you didn't like ding dongs?
Or Fruity Pebbles, right?
Wow. Let's go away from that, Michael.
Yeah, we'll edit that out.
You had to edit that part.
No, the people alive saw it, but
even the girls in the back are like, "Oh, this is going to be impressive. How big could you go?"
So how many?
I could take all 25 goldfish at one time.
Wow.
So I sucked them down, and I could feel them swimming like in my stomach.
No way.
Yeah, you could feel them going down, and they were still alive. So I also have an ability to regurgitate, like a little baby, like a bird to a baby.
Can you do it right now?
I could.
Oh wow!
I could.
We don't do it.
It'll just be cherry pie all over the
So in order to really wow people, I regurgitated about half of them, and then I took them down. Then I took them down again. So that's the stupid crap you do when you're
You do it
in
in front
college.
of girls or what?
No, there's no girls. There's a bunch of guys.
Okay.
I would never do that in front of a lady. I have manners. I
Yeah.
respect myself.
What about
too
you,
much.
DJ? Do you do anything?
Well, it's funny. I was a KA at UNC Charlotte. And
hey, so was I.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
that?
They have a
Brother
secret.
of mine.
You guys have a secret handshake or
Yeah.
something?
I got us put on probation. I'll tell you that story after. But, they did the same thing. They had us chugging goldfish, and I think I only drank like 3 of them. And we went to Waffle House over off North Tryon Road, and I started feeling a little nauseous. And same thing, I went in the bathroom and I threw them up, and they were still alive. I couldn't believe it.
They're swimming in the toilet?
Swimming in the toilet, like Nemo.
Those suckers are tough.
Yeah.
They're resilient.
No, Frank and I, we went to Kiowa. I don't know if we told this story yet.
You
probably
have.
not. Huh? Yeah, the Kiowa. Yeah, we have told that one. I mean, the only other thing, I've never really done anything besides I remember I just can't forget when my mother was watching. The creek at Cherokee, that creek.
Oh yeah, the one right down the
But
middle.
it's got mossy rocks, and I told Lauren, I said, if you walk across, now that's when, Lauren's a pretty cute girl, right? And my mother's watching. I said, I'll give you $300 if you walk across and back over this creek, right? So this creek's flowing pretty good, and you can see her just. I thought she'd fall. I told her if she fell, I'd give her 200 more. So, and
You wouldn't have to pay her.
she
You
really
gotta find her.
came across.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that goes to saying, what would you do? Or Michael, have you done anything crazy?
I can't think of anything, honestly.
Oh.
Because how it started was the time.
for money.
Would you take the whipped cream or not?
What?
What's the whipped cream?
Well, last week I was showing everybody how we have a problem lately. We had to stop whipped cream on desserts because my hostess up there, they were putting it flat. Then they weren't doing it right, and I'm like,
So you have a way you like to present the whipped cream.
it should be
Fluffy,
right?
Yeah.
So last week I told Brent I'd give him $1,000 cash, and actually I have it. And Renee, show me the $1,000 just in case.
You still have it?
Oh, right here. It's in that
Just in
envelope.
case.
Yeah, well,
So you're going to give $1,000 to somebody to put whipped cream on them?
I just spray it on you.
You would do it, or would you have some?
I would. Well, I don't know. It's hard for me to really. I'd probably have Sherry do it today. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a different story. A girl putting whipped cream on you on camera versus a guy putting whipped cream on you. It might go down with the opening your throat and Fruity Pebbles.
That is exactly why I said no last week.
Why didn't you say no? There was $1,000.
Yeah.
That was what I was going to give.
What can I do for that right now?
So what would you do? Then we talked about, would you float, Denny and them offered me and Todd Ron, would you go in a canal at Atlantis,
The canal in Atlantis.
Okay, you know the canal where sharks now.
Yeah, there's sharks.
For 6 hours from midnight to
For
6.
6 hours?
What?
Yeah.
I
and
wouldn't
you
go in water
float
with a shark
there.
for
See,
1 minute.
I mean,
Now listen, I'm thinking they're going to get sued, right? But I would get that. The problem is there's a money amount for everybody that you say yes or no, right? I wonder who would do it for 100.
for $100,000 to swim in a canal
Full of sharks.
For
6 hours.
Well, we don't know they're sharks.
You're gonna die.
We don't know. We're assuming jellyfish or whatever it is, but
Well, jellyfish I would do. I mean, I get bitten, stung for $100,000, but I don't want to get eaten.
I did throw a watch in there with a bag, and I said, if anybody finds it someday with my name on it, I get $25,000. But I did throw a watch.
Expensive watch.
10 years ago. It wasn't.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah, I put a bag. I threw it in there, and it said, somebody finds it someday, I get $25,000.
Why do you get 25 grand?
Because I was saying that we were just my
So
friend,
someone finds it and they're like, "Wow,
Who's
I got to go
paying
pay this
this
guy
guy
25 grand for finding this
Even
watch."
louder. Have you ever, like, our friends do it all the time? Like, I was telling the story. We had a friend come out of a plane, and we would get all the snow for Scotty off the plane, and that snow that's on the road. I mean, you can't make it up. And then we made him eat it for
A snow cone?
$500.
Like a snow cone?
Snow cone, yeah.
See, something like that I can possibly do. Not a shark though, because you have to
Frank,
weigh.
I don't like sharks, but Frank, we go deep sea fishing in Cabo quite a bit. And if we even see a shark, Frank is like,
Well, you
rabid.
caught it. Didn't you just catch a
I
shark?
just caught one 2 weeks ago in Cabo, like a 5-foot
Oh, nice.
mako.
Yeah.
And I didn't even want to keep it. And the dudes bring it on board. And I had my wife and her sister, who they had never been fishing before. And when I caught a marlin, I never knew that they
whack it over the
whack
head.
with a bat to kill it so it doesn't stab anybody or whatever. He brings this big mako on board and just starts beating the hell out of it with a baseball bat. And like no one knew. I didn't even want to keep the shark.
It's an
I don't know
angry
why.
Mexican.
Yeah.
He beat the shit out of it.
Beating the hell out of a
He hit it
shark.
like 30 times, and everyone was traumatized. Not me. Everyone else was traumatized watching this shark get the crap beat out of it. And so later that day, I asked a guy at a restaurant because they cleaned it and whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess they
eat shark?
They make something called like shamuka or something of it, where they soak it in salt water for 4 days,
Uh-huh.
and then they smoke it for like 2 days, and they make like a soup out of it.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
Yes, but they beat this damn shark.
Wow.
30 times.
You were probably like, "I just wanted to go back in the ocean."
Yeah, I just wanted to cut the line. You know,
Yeah.
let's get
See,
on.
that's the problem right there. So I have a rule. Like I play on my home field. That's their home field.
Yeah, I'm with
right?
you.
If I can't beat you on your home turf, then I'm not doing it. Right. So I'm not going in the ocean swimming with sharks.
I don't get in the
because there's
ocean.
no
Well,
chance
I'm
for me
saying
surviving.
if you need 100 grand, would you do that? I'm saying that's where the number is. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean,
right,
so now
if you
you
need it, would you do it? But the problem is they might get sued. I don't know. Like,
would you
well,
get
I told-
sued if the shark started eating you?
You could sue the
I
shark.
said the
Just
other
have the
one.
guy sign a waiver. Have him sign a waiver first.
What about 8 years? What about I told you
I'd have a big life insurance policy. How'd you die? I was swimming with sharks.
Yeah, you know. It was
What about
it was
8
all
hours
fun.
in Lake Norman? Would you do that one?
How many hours in Lake Norman?
midnight to 8 Lake Norman with we
8
give you a
hours.
bodysuit and
So I get a bodysuit, so I'm
life
not going to
jacket?
die.
Do I get a life
But
jacket?
you said it'd
You-
be
no,
down
yeah,
by the
life
dam, though,
jacket.
where there's huge catfish and all.
Yeah.
Right.
Catfish
What
aren't gonna bother
about the brown snakes? Would you get scared of that?
What
I don't know.
snakes?
Brown snakes go in the water.
Are brown snakes poisonous?
No.
No. So who cares?
Yeah,
If they're poisonous,
I
then
don't
it's
do
one
snakes
thing.
either.
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Snakes are probably my biggest fear. So if you're going to ask me if I had to go into a pit, like the Fear Factor stuff. You ever watch Fear Factor as a
Yep.
kid?
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff that
you
they
were
would
a
do.
kid, yeah.
He wasn't a kid.
Yeah,
but-
I mean that's.
But yes,
that's
snakes,
where
I
you
don't do
start
snakes.
taking your.
There's two things that I don't screw with: snakes and condoms. I have to edit that too. Huh?
That's pretty good. Yeah,
or
that-
freakies.
More freakies.
So we obviously we're here. There's very sports driven show.
Yeah.
Too as well. What about the Panthers? What are we thinking?
Oh gosh, I mean, you saw him. I'm kind of more of a realist when it comes to the Panthers. My partner over here, we talk about the Panthers a bit, quite a bit, and I always walk away feeling more optimistic than when I started because he is like, if you could give him next to those two guys that are out there cheering, those pom poms that they use, then he would be right there next to him, with his fruity pebbles. But I mean, as far as the Panthers go, I think there's still a lot of room to grow. I think they're a year or two away. I agree their offense is going to score some points. I like their new receiver, Tet McMillan. Bryce has to play well. Their offensive line. There's one thing I noticed in the preseason game, and I do this. I coach high school football as well, and this is one thing that I did as a player, and all the great teams I feel like do this. You look at the Patriots, you look at Brady. If you ever got tackled out of bounds, if you look at Marshall Faulk, when he ever got tackled out of bounds, you look at the star players. Whenever they get tackled, if you don't see 4 or 5 offensive linemen running to their aid, you don't have a team that has a lot of continuity. You don't have a team that really cares offensively. The one thing that I saw Dave Canales is doing to this team, and for them is creating a brand. It's building an identity, and the identity is going to be play hard, be physical. But the offensive line, if you watch in that first preseason game, anytime a running back got tackled, anytime a receiver got tackled, anytime the quarterback got sacked or hit, you saw 3 or 4 offensive line running to their aid. it shows a lot about what their belief is and what they're willing to do and sacrifice, because that's hard.
Yeah.
It's going to make me tired if I have to chase the play 20 yards down the field. For a big guy, if I'm doing that 65 times a game, it's going to take something out of me, but I better be in shape. But it lets those defensive guys know that I'm coming.
Yeah.
And if you ever stand somebody up on a pile and you see big guys coming, they have a tendency to let go.
Yeah.
So it's a good sign for the Panthers and the offense. Now the defensive side of the ball, there's still so many question marks. There's some good potential with some young players, but the linebackers, in my opinion, right now, there's way too big of gaps and holes for a guy like Shedeur Sanders to pick you apart over the middle of the field like they were doing. So there's a lot of room to improve, but I still think it's going to be
8-8.
So 6.5. You're going to go over? Or under?
I think it's a great number.
Yeah.
If you would ask, I think they're going to score enough points in our division to win some games.
Yeah.
If we split half of them, that's 4 games. They got to get 3 more somewhere else. First couple of games, I think, are going to be tough, but I'd probably go over 6.5 just because I'm a Panther fan. But it's not going to be much. It's going to be right at 7.
The coach, I like the coach. Don't you? You guys?
I do
met him?
too. I like.
I
love the coach.
He loves Red Rocks.
He's at Red Rocks.
I love the guy.
I've seen him in the one in Providence. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he
and-
goes there.
well,
I
and-
like
and
that.
the thing
when I met him, he was really nice.
The thing that DJ and I talked about, he's a good coach too. He's coached some really good teams as well, especially when it comes to, growing young men and teaching them life lessons and things like that. We both did that with our kids, and I respect him a lot as a coach. But we both noticed that the one thing that good coaches do is they have the ability to kind of morph and change. I make mistakes, you make mistakes, we all make mistakes. If I live in a box and think that everything I do is perfect, a lot of times you get caught up in, we have to have an identity, and this is the only way we're going to do things. And if you don't do it my way, then there's no other way to do it. You're never going to grow, right? But he has the ability to learn from his mistakes. And the first example of that is Bryce Young playing in this preseason. He didn't play last year, if you remember. And he came out and he started off like crap. First 4, he got benched.
Right.
Bryce has another year under him, but he's more valuable to the Panthers now than he was then. But what Canales has learned is that he needs those reps. That he needs to take and see those live reps. And he's grown from that because last year he didn't do it.
Yeah.
What about fear of the owner? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say I agree. I mean, I think that offensively they're going to score points. I really do think they're going to be able to run the ball. Defensively, we'll see. They brought in a lot of new guys on defense to build that defensive line like they did on offense last year, and it worked on offense. So if we have the same luck with that defensive line, it is going to make the game easier for the linebackers because we both agree that our linebackers are a huge question mark. And there's still the waiver wire. I went looking at teams yesterday to see who had a lot of depth at linebacker that maybe we could make a trade with right now, or if they get cut. And there's a few teams maybe, but it's a lot less than I'd hoped for. But I think defensively we're just going to have to wait and see. But I got to tell a funny story with Frank when he was talking about, when your guy gets tackled, being there to pick him up off the ground. The reason I hired Frank, we were both probably 26, or he had just got drafted, and I just started running Sports Station, and we got tired of the athletes would say the same thing every time. Well, I just got to do my best. God willing, the same thing every time. And so we wanted somebody that would come on there and have some attitude and tell it like it is. And I went to a Panther game on a Sunday, and we were playing the Raiders, and they had a defensive tackle named Chester McLaughlin, if you remember, just a stud. I think he's in the Hall of Fame.
He's not in the Hall of Fame, but he's potential.
Big, played at Clemson.
6'5", 330.
Yeah, and our running back was Fred Lane, and McLaughlin threw him out of bounds. And Frank comes over and just starts going at him. So him and Chester McLaughlin getting this big fight. Now the whole team's over there. And Frank gets kicked out of the game, as does Chester McLaughlin. Yeah. And the next day, and while I'm watching, I'm going, man, I want to know who that number 65 is. That might be my guy.
Yeah.
And the next day on the front news, or the front of the sports page, which they would never put this on there now, but it said, "The Mean Mexican." And it had Frank on it. And so I called the Panthers, and I got his agent.
And the caption was, Chester holding my face mask, I'm holding his face mask, and I'm cocked back, and he's cocked back, and we're ready to swing.
So
kind of like what happened with
Xavier Legette.
Xavier Legette.
And so
I was thinking hoop group. But
that happens in your hoop group.
I got a hold of his agent, and he came down to the radio station, and then he worked. Since that day, he worked for me until even when he was with the Rams, he would come on and he did some stuff in St. Louis on radio or TV. But
they'd call in once a week.
That's why we hired him, was him going and protecting one of his guys.
Yeah,
that's great.
Well, before we get this, Katie, she's great. Works
Hello,
so hard.
Katie.
What do you got for us today? What's our featured drink?
Today I have for you what's called a Mulberry Street. It's made with bourbon, amaretto, freshly squeezed lemon juice, and fresh mint.
Nice.
Oh wow!
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Awesome.
Thank
Try
you.
that.
Let me
Let's
try
see what
it.
you think, DJ.
Delicious.
I'll drink 10 of these for $1,000.
I got it right here.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we make featured drinks, and
So that's a new thing that you're doing now. Coming in with a featured drink with the beautiful young lady that shows that. And we know it's not about the drink, Ron. Yeah, you know.
I can't acknowledge either way. But
Yeah.
Katie's a valued employee. She's also a chef, so she's great. But
That's really
we talk
good.
about football stories. I was alluding before you guys had a great story.
Ron was
what
a
about the
cornerback.
owner? Do you think the owner is involved as much, Tepper, anymore?
Well, you know, I think
he won't come on our show, by the way.
Yeah, we've
well,
asked.
We've asked.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think he listens yet.
Yeah, you might need a couple more.
We keep
followers.
asking, hey, Tepper, just so you know, we're
Yeah.
here, Red Rod, Sparkdale. We'll go to South Park.
I don't know if what I'm going to say is going to help him come on, but I think that he's maybe learned a lesson after he dumped the drink on the fan
Jacksonville.
in Jacksonville. Hopefully he has. They did something in a documentary. I don't know if it was HBO or Netflix, where it was the draft room, and they were showing the Panthers and kind of how things were operating
Yeah.
in there. And I think a lot of times, as you guys know, when you're doing filming or setups, you can make something look different than what is actually happening. You can make a mean character out of somebody that's just the nicest guy in the world. You can just edit it to say, okay, this guy said something. Now he's the villain in the show. Well, I think in that they intentionally try to edit that he was out of the picture.
Right.
He was just sitting there observing, which I don't think is the case in any ownership group. Ron, would you let somebody sit here and run your business without having you input, right? No, the answer is no. You're
No, I want
always
to buy it. He put a lot of money into
yeah,
it.
that's right. And so did
Yeah.
he, right? So he's always going to have his input. It's just going to be whether it comes out in the public eye. I do feel like sometimes you have to allow people to do their job. You can't micromanage guys. If you're having to micromanage somebody, you don't have the right guy in the first place, right? So maybe he's allowing that to take place a little bit more. He's trusting in the people that he's hired to give them some autonomy to be able to do and make decisions that they're paid to do, and then evaluate them from there. So that's a good sign, with the owner. But all the other stuff, I like the passion personally. I love the passion of him, wanting to dump a drink on a fan, because I've been there and done that. I'm sure you feel like dumping drinks on, people sometimes, but you
I
have to
wanted
have
to dump it on you a few times. When I golf with you, to be honest with
Me
you.
too.
You have to have some.
You might be the number one. Hold
Yeah, exactly.
on. Maybe that's for 1,000. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna dump a drink on him.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
I deal with the Panthers and Charlotte FC quite a bit with my marketing company. We
Yeah.
have clients who buy package to them or market or advertise with them. So I deal with a lot of the guys in that organization, and they all say that they have noticed a difference in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That he has kind of stepped back. Now, like Frank said, you never really know, and they're not going to come out and say, "Oh yeah, he's still doing this and that." But I think I trust them, and they do say that he has kind of taken a step back and kind of letting his guys do their job. And like Frank said, they're never going to be. They're always going to have their fingers on it somewhere, and when you put that much money, you should.
Yeah.
But hopefully he has, and it looks like Dan Morgan and Canales are definitely on the same page. Looks like they could have had another good draft on this one. If the free agents that he signed last year work out this year, then it should at least be a much more fun team to watch, like it was the second half of the year last year, when even when they didn't win, they almost beat Philadelphia. They almost beat Kansas City. They got screwed on a game against Tampa Bay. They should have won. So we'll see. They got to get off to a good start though. They start off at Jacksonville and at Arizona. Two teams who are kind of like the Panthers, young, trying to rebuild. And so if they can split those, if they lose both, then
Here's something interesting to think about, and it's just coincidental, I think, but I don't know. One of our friends who owns Neogenics, sent this to us about the Panthers. When the Panthers have started off with Jacksonville and Ohio State has won the national championship, the Panthers have gone to the Super Bowl the 2 times that they've done it. But 2002, I believe, was the first time. Then 2015, 16, they started off the season playing Jacksonville, and Ohio State had just won the national championship. Those are the 2 times the Panthers have been in the Super Bowl. It's also the last 2 times that Ohio State has
sounds like
won.
we need to bet them to go to the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's 10,000 to 1. So good luck.
There you
The
go.
question I've had in my mind, you played for owners, so we had Mark Richardson and Jerry, which, Mark was our good friend, partner. What do you think the different feel? When you went to St. Louis, you went to Super Bowl, and obviously, do you think there's a difference in ownership?
Yeah,
in St.
absolutely.
Louis?
Everything starts from the top, Ron. You know this as an owner of a business, is that it all trickles up. How you treat your employees, the standards you set, the little things that you do different than everybody else, the way you treat somebody. You said something to me, and it really stood out as a business owner now, is that it's not about finding good people, it's about keeping them. And that's the challenge, as an owner, is that you find good people. There's always other people that want to come to steal those people and take them from you. But keeping those people means you have to be doing things the right way. You have to treat them respect. You have to, give them, a place to grow. You have to pay them, right? All the things that it requires to keep good people. And the same thing applies to ownership. Is that I played with good owners. I played with bad owners. And when I went to Arizona and the Bidwells owned the team. Coming from St. Louis and the Panthers, I think that was the one thing that stood out with the Panthers, is because we had a player that was an owner. He understood, what it took to get the most out of players and make them feel like I remember this the very first time, and Jerry Richardson knew a lot of people, right? Yeah. He's met a lot of people. He's probably forgot about more people than we'll ever meet. He remembered my wife, my kids, and everybody's name the very first time, and I thought that was really cool as an owner, to come out and have the awareness to be able to remember my family's name. Right? It wasn't about me; it was about a family, and just the little things that he would do differently. That was one of the things that really stood out. At a Christmas party, he'd remember their name. He'd always say, "Hi, Sarah. Hi, Grace. Hi, Garrett." He'd know he'd know who they were, right? And
you multiply that times 53 guys.
And he did that to everybody.
Right.
And I don't know if it's a great talent, because you'll introduce yourself to me in 5 minutes, I'll forget your name.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, well, I don't know why it is. I've tried to do those things, but it's just a great talent that he has. But that was one of the things that stood out. The other thing was the places that we stayed and the things that we had, like shaving cream or razors or shampoo. Just little things like that that players appreciate. That I don't have to pay, that I don't have to worry about, that's already taken care of. Where I'd go to the Arizona Cardinals, where the Bidwells were there, and they didn't give you crap.
Right.
I mean, you felt like like you were there, just existed. You felt like a piece of property.
Yeah.
Right. And there was a big difference in how I felt as a player and feeling at home.
Richardsons.
Yeah, and with the Richardsons versus the Bidwells at Arizona.
Well, Jerry, I knew Mark very well, as you all know, but Jerry did something I'll never forget, and that was with my nephew, Eric, and we walked by his car. My nephew was probably 8, 9. I don't know back in the day how long it was, but we walked by his car. But I knew Mark, but I don't know if I really knew him. You know what I mean? I knew Mark, and I walked by his car. His son, come here. And he goes, look at my trunk. He goes, pick out a shirt, pick out a hat. And I'll never forget that. Like, he had to make an effort to talk to my nephew. Mm-hmm. Right, like that. And I always remember that. But then, obviously, when he had his heart transplant, I think things changed a little bit because of Mark. I don't know what happened with Mark. There was a lot of things that took place within that, and I mean, what you believe and really happened. The bottom line is that it did change. I mean. It changed the dynamic of this organization. No doubt. From John, from what he was doing, to Mark and who was in control, and some of the decisions that were made with Jerry at the time. When we none of us knew if he was going to make it, and I'm still good friends with John and with Mark, and John's no longer with us, and neither is Jerry. So. Mark's doing his thing, and got remarried, and is living his life very happily and very comfortably, and but those moments and decisions changed the dynamics of this team and this organization, and went to find a different ownership group, in which they did, and all the way up in New England, and
there has to be votes on that with other owners around the league, and it all came to vote, and that's what they decided to do. It's Tepper.
I think it's hard to, like Michael is a suite holder, and like eventually, what do we do with the? I've got Panther tickets, Hornets tickets, and eventually you're like, is there a point where people just say, I'm not spending that money anymore to watch a loser or not? Or
Well, they may,
or is
I don't
it
know if
because
they'll-
you want to go to the
They
event?
may not be a loser forever. And they're going to renovate the stadium soon, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the plan?
They are, and they're renovating the arena right now where the Hornets play.
Yeah.
And that's the one team. And I went to every Hornet game from the time I was probably 16 until whatever. Last year actually is the first year I didn't go at all, and it was just because none of their guys ever played.
Yeah.
And so they're redoing the arena, and a lot of people that I know stopped going to the Hornets. So I think when somebody had to make a decision between Panthers or Charlotte FC or the Hornets or whoever, I think the Hornets were probably were the first one on the list
Right.
to see ya. But I think there's even excitement with them this year with 4 draft choices and Con Kneppel from Duke, and so hopefully they get it back on track. It seems like their new coach and their new GM are moving in the right direction. We'll see, but
There's a lot of similarities between what the Panthers are doing and what the Hornets are doing,
Yeah.
and the way that they're building their organizations. And I think that's the exciting part to be a Charlotte fan. I mean, FC, I'm not a big. I mean, I like soccer. It feels like with all the things that we have here in Charlotte, that's the one thing that they get right.
Yeah, that's weird.
Right? It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
Right? We're a soccer town.
Yeah.
Because I've been to those games. And it's a good time.
they're a blast.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's a good time. The pyrotechnics that they use, the energy that's in the stadium, the things that are happening behind the goal. They're building a brand very similar to, if you remember, the Hornets when you were a young kid. When they were really vibing, but they had. They had the biggest attendance in the entire
23,000
NBA.
every night.
It was the highest. The Hornets were the place to be. The color scheme
It was a culture
was great.
phenomenon.
It was
I've had
the
tickets
culture that
since
existed.
day one,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, and in Charlotte FC, they do. I mean, they're looking like they can make the playoffs right now. Tepper has put a lot of money in that. They signed a guy internationally the other day. They're signing another guy, I think, right now. And I played soccer in college my whole life, and I'd never watched the MLS.
Yeah.
And then when we got Charlotte FC, I would just watch a little bit. But then I went to a game, and I was blown away. And it's just such a great melting pot of people, and the cheers and the chanting and all the stuff they do. And they have a good product. It's fun. I really enjoy going to the
I
games.
think the thing about the Hornets and maybe that soccer team and the Panthers, the GM is so critical, I think, in the NBA more than any other sport, because you have 5 guys. Now, we had Shea Gildress. We let him go.
Yep.
Then we picked Boat Night. I mean, then we got... so I think that in basketball you can have 2 or 3 guys and you can be a stud team.
Yeah.
And I don't think they do it on purpose, but I think they've missed. Like this Salam guy, I don't know how to say his name.
Ron, I totally agree with what you're saying. Is that if you're going to be a team like Indiana, if you're going to be a smaller market team that wants to develop and be good, you have to hit on your draft choices, and you have to develop your players, and you have to get good guys to come in and play for one another, or you can be a team like Golden State or OKC that spends an inordinate amount of money and goes way over the cap, right? The Hornets were doing neither, and that's the problem.
OKC didn't do that. They built it from that GM.
Well, they did, but
Yeah.
so
Originally, you're right.
you
They
can either do
traded
one
them.
or the other, right? You can be a team that's going to overpay in free agency and go buy these superstar players, but you're going. And I don't know if Charlotte can with the way the cap is set up, with the way the system is set up, if they're going to ever be one of those teams. So here in this market,
play for them too.
yeah, here in this market, you're exactly right. The general manager has to be the guy, the catalyst that identifies talent, that starts to develop that culture and finds the right head coach, and is just everything's going, in the same way.
But the Hornets even addressed that this week. Their general manager came out and they were asking him about signing a big free agent or whatever. And he said it. He goes, look, we've got a great young core.
Yeah.
If we can take the next step, then next year might be when we'll be ready. But right now, it wouldn't be worth it because we're not ready yet. So,
the biggest question is, what do you do with LaMelo Ball? I mean, that's the $100 million question. You paid the guy. He plays half of the time. Ron, you go to some of the games. You sit there for courtside. I see you all the time. He doesn't play.
Yeah,
I mean, I went to 10 games. He played in 0
He
of them.
sprained his ankle in front of my mom and said, "Fuck, I'll never forget
Yeah.
that." My mom was like, "Don't listen to him."
Son, close your ears.
Yeah, close yours, Mom. He just said F-U-C-K.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you do with the guy?
But I think the other problem is if you were on the Hornets or you're on the Panthers and you played for a team we didn't, do you tell people to come to your team or not? When you play for St. Louis,
Yeah,
do you
I mean,
say if you're on the Hornets, like one of the players, you go, you need to come here because?
Yeah.
Well, if we're honest with each other, I mean, basketball is a very cultural sport. You know, you're going to play with guys you grew up with, the guys that are similar to you, the guys that have the same type of culture. If you're a guy from Europe and you're on a team in Dallas, it's going to be difficult to go get superstars here in America. Right? They're not from the same culture. I'm not going to go recruit those guys, right? So anytime you have a great player like that, it's going to be hard for him to go recruit. But if you have a guy that you grew up with, you played in the AAU basketball leagues together, you're best friends, you happen to be in OKC, they happen to be here, when he's ready to be a free agent, or if you feel like you have something, you're going to go recruit those guys, and that guy's going to want to come play in a team that he has friends with that he knows.
You know, Charlotte is a desirable place. I mean, a lot of ex-athletes that didn't even play in Charlotte, and you guys know them, and you play in golf tournaments, a lot of them moved to Charlotte when they retire, even if they had not played here or not. So a lot of people, I think Charlotte has a great reputation as a great place to live, great place to raise your family. They just don't have a reputation of having winning teams.
A good organization.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's run well.
If that happens, if that changes, then I think it won't be as hard to get these guys.
Exactly.
Well, we'll pivot a little bit to Hoop Group. You know, Michael over here has been a two-time
I'm
world
sure they want to
champion.
hear all about this.
A two-time world champion of it. And you know what? He never had the best team, but he had the best coach, and he got all the best out of it.
I was a coach, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Coach player.
But you looked at it, he was always the underdog, and he won the championship because they wanted to play for him. So
We had a culture there.
So
we do have a culture.
You do. Outlaws, you do have it, and you always win because of that. Where I think I don't know about the coach or the Hornet. I just watch.
Well, what's the culture here, though?
Well, I have a problem.
Well, it's going to be hard for
the fans. I have the problem with you as a fan, and you and me, and you as a fan, because we're supporting a team that loses by 50.
Yeah,
and
and
nobody's booing. Nobody's booing.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, what is going on here? We lost by 50.
Yeah.
Not 40. We lost by 50.
They quit.
Yeah.
Right.
I
They
think when you
quit.
get
Three
the
times last year.
ownership changes for both teams, right? So you had Tepper and then you had the new owners for the Hornets, right? They're trying to figure out what the kind of culture was and they're trying to make it their own, and that transition phase is going to be a process. You know, it's like I think even Tepper a few years ago tried to get rid of keep pounding or something because it wasn't his thing, but it's like the fans are like, no, we're bought into this.
But how many years do we have to wait? Like how many years?
That's
you're
the problem.
Courtside, we got Panther courtside, we got the Hornets. I mean, Hornets had enough, I'll say balls to say, okay, we're going to double your ticket price next year. I mean, double. You haven't won a game, and I'm paying double.
Yeah.
Like, how did this happen? Because you know why? Because there's entertainment value too. Because I want to see the other players. Back to the player thing, Frank. Do you think you would want to play with LeBron James or not? Like, there we go. Does he recruit people? Do we have anybody? What I was trying to get to?
I'm not. I think it depends on what LeBron James I'm getting. I don't know if the older LeBron James would have been the same as the younger LeBron James. The younger LeBron James had that hunger and fire that I would look for as a player or as a place I'd want to go play with. Guys like Kobe Bryant, guys like Jordan, guys that are going to make and demand excellence from other players. I want to win. Right, and if I want to win, I want to go with guys that care about winning, and they care about winning, more than they care about other things. That's what they're bought into. Because I have to feed my kids. I have to worry with, and the only way I'm going to feed my kids is by winning. If I go and just I'm a part of something, and I get bored really quickly. I have to gamble. There has to be something on it in order to perk my interest. And if you don't feel that way, if you're not competitive, if you're not wanting to go out there and show up and do what it takes to win, I don't know if I could play with you. I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to go to an organization where that's the culture.
And I don't know if you know, but Kawhi Leonard,
I know.
Everybody wants to play for him now. Like he just got the guy from Phoenix. I feel like he's the guy that says, "Hey, come play here." What's the point guard that just went there?
Chris Paul.
No, the other one.
Bradley Beal?
No, the guy was Bradley Beal.
Oh,
but I'm saying maybe he wasn't that good with Phoenix. I'm just saying he decided where he wanted to go because Phoenix is paying him $30 million. and he can go somewhere for 5.
Chris
right?
Paul went there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To where?
Clippers.
The Clippers.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to be good. I bet you any money. What I'm saying is, if you want to work, say even like at Red Rocks, right? If Renee likes working at Red Rocks, she could tell somebody else I like working at Red Rocks. But if she said I wouldn't work for that asshole or I wouldn't work for John and Ron, they're not going to work here. So you wonder what that goes into some of these guys, because NBA is different than football. NBA, if you want to spend the money, you can, almost like baseball, but you get a tax. But you can still pay it if you're rich. There's a tax. I don't know if you go over the
luxury tax.
Yeah.
right. So, but you can pay it. In NFL, you can't. And MLB is out of control because you can, it's stupid.
Yeah.
What do you think about? I mean, I guess what direction I'm going is, I do think the players matter. Like,
Of course, the players matter. I mean, yeah, because that's the point I was making with LaMelo, is that if you're a player that has a desire to win a championship, are you coming to play with LaMelo?
No.
Absolutely not. He's not forcing or demanding excellence from his teammates. He shows up. He plays when he's healthy. He kind of floats around and he has fun. He's a great player.
Yeah,
when he
fun to
plays,
watch.
he's
Statistically, he's very inefficient.
yeah, I mean, but he's a guy that is more about LaMelo. This is the way I would look at him as a player. He's more about him and his image and and how he looks and how he plays and how fancy things are versus the meat and potatoes of getting to work and grinding and forcing other guys as the best player. The teams that I've played on that have been championship teams, the best players are always the hardest workers. And they demand out of their position groups other guys to be excellent. You're going to do this. If I'm going to do this, you're going to do this. And I'm going to be the leader because I'm the best player, and you're going to follow suit. Orlando Pace, Marshall Faulk, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Aeneas Williams, Grant Windstrom.
Frank Garcia.
I was part of it. I bought in. I love
but
going
Mike
there.
Martz did that. You think it was Martz too?
Martz was the owner was a non-existent owner, but the coach, we wanted to play for the coach because he set a message in place. We're going to be better than everybody else, and it's not about what they do; it's about what we do, and that's going to be our image. If we show up and we play fast and we play our brand of football, if we do the greatest show on turf stuff, we're going to be the greatest show on turf. It doesn't matter who we're playing, the Bucks, the Browns, the Steelers. If we do what we do well, better than what you do well, then we're going to win games. And that's what it came down to. And I think for the Hornets, what do they do well? They don't have an identity. They don't have a brand.
They get injured.
They get
very well.
injured. They show up. They drive nice cars. Right? They show up and they show appearances and they're there and they're great in the community and the guy's talented, but he's not making other guys better.
But I think the Hornets and the Panthers, the Hornets this year, I think you saw in the draft, they drafted dudes that play.
Yeah.
They drafted guys that are out there that work hard.
They changed up their philosophy.
They
seems like.
totally did.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the GM and the coach are doing.
Right.
With the Panthers, something that I look at with organizations is that you see, and if you remember when Steve Smith got cut, he would not do anything with the Panthers. When Dave Gettleman was here, he totally just shut them down. Well, with Tepper, you do see a lot of the ex-players out there. You see Luke Kuechly at practice. Redson Buckner was there last week. You see Trey Boston and Joyce Peppers rarely, but you see a lot of the old Musim Muhammad.
It's the old Miami Hurricane,
Deion Sanders.
No, it's if you're
a family.
It's a family.
Yeah, right.
We're a family, and they would use that to recruit.
Yeah.
You see Ray Lewis there. You see guys that have played Jeremy Shockey's. You see the Clinton Portises. They're all the U, and they're proud of it. And when they were there at the games on the sidelines, all the recruits would come in and see it. They had a culture that existed that like DJ saying is that we believe in this. We're a family, and we're not going to forget about you when you're done. That's easy for me as a player to buy into, right? Versus I go to a place and hey, this is our circle. You're not a part of this anymore. Yeah. We're going to shun you away from this. And I've been a part of that too.
Yeah.
Well, you need to bet on DraftKings. The Panthers win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And the Hornets beat Super Bowl for $20. You'll make $1 million.
If the Hornets
I'm
win
going to
the
do it
Super
this
Bowl,
year again.
Well, then, yeah,
I
that's
did it
the
the
same
same
year.
some serious money.
I'm going to do it this year.
In the
I'll do it
same year?
every year.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the same thing every year until it happens.
Until it happens.
Like $20.
how do you bet the Hornets go to the Super Bowl?
Well, not excuse me. Obviously, the NBA championship.
Yeah.
No, I think you do playoffs. I think you did playoffs last year.
Well,
right?
I did playoffs, but I think I'm just saying $1 million. I'm saying that's how bad we.
That's
stay
exactly.
And we
that's
both
such a long shot.
Did you renew your tickets? We both renewed our tickets.
Yeah.
That's the stupidest thing. Like
Well, if they stay healthy this year, though, I think they could be a fringe playoff team.
I do like their.
a lot of the
Here
other
we are.
teams in
We're
the East
optimistic again, but I
yeah.
do like how they're moving in this direction.
Well, and
If they can stay healthy.
And that's what these leagues are set up for, right? Each and every year, the reason why they have the draft, the reason why they have free agency is to hook people like us into believing that they're going to be better.
I never believed the Hornets would get better, but I believe that like the 27th pick. I don't know his name. From Connecticut, I called Scott Burrell,
McNeely.
and he said,
Yeah.
"What do you think of that guy?" And he's told me about some Connecticut guys who picked before. I don't want to mention names because I wouldn't want to throw Scott under, but he said that guy's a stud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a good pick.
Well, he also played for a coach that brought the best out of those guys. You know, if you played for Hurley, you knew you were going to get coached in college. You weren't going to be one of those guys that just showed up and the coach was afraid to coach you because you might leave somewhere. If you played for Hurley, you got coached, you got yelled at, you got taught at a high level how to fail. If you failed, how to succeed.
Yeah.
And I think what's happening with these kids today is we're losing that ability as coaches to be able to have that type of impact on players. Because if you talk to somebody the wrong way, their feelings get hurt, and their feelings matter more than the facts. And going out
and
there
they're
and
looking
making
for the
plays.
next best thing.
That's right.
They're saying,
But it's easy for them now. Even in high school,
the powers.
Even in high school, you're seeing it with this NIL stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
you go to Texas, they have NIL deals.
Oh, yeah.
They have
Yeah.
NIL deals
The
for
kid that did
14,
our
15-year-old
show.
kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$1 million
Yeah.
bucks.
Yeah.
He has an ideal
They're
with
making more than the
Red
coach.
Rocks now.
Yeah. I gave him $750.
There you go.
you
I
go.
mean, so pivot a little bit. You as a coach and Corey Lane as a coach.
Corey Lane is a coach.
Both of you, I see him coach his son.
Corey Lane. Oh, yeah.
Who do you think's harder on his son, you or Corey Lane? Because I see him in his his drills on Instagram.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I love Corey, by the way,
I do too.
and he's athletic.
And
he can beat you in golf.
He cannot beat me in golf. He cannot beat me in golf. And he'll tell you that. He's a heck of an athlete, and I think he does great things with his son going out there and competing against him. And he doesn't take it easy on him.
No, that basketball. Some of his old videos are great. You watch him on video?
I do. You know, Corey and Chris both played at UNC Charlotte baseball.
Oh, they did.
Chris actually has, when they built their new stadium, Chris has the first ever home run hit in that stadium.
No way.
Yeah, they were both really good baseball players, and so it doesn't surprise me that they're good golf. And Chris is a good golfer as well. Neither could beat Frank. He's right, but they are both. But those same videos when he's out there with his kid, with playing football or basketball and going at him, I love it. And I saw Frank raise his first son, and now I'm with him while he's raising Braxton, and I think that I see a difference between the two. Like with Garrett, his first son, and my two boys that we coached together, we were definitely probably a lot harder then than we are now. Not that we're not hard, and Frank still gets on Braxton's butt and teaches him the way that he wants it to be, but I do see a difference, and I don't know if that's because culturally it's different now. I don't think Frank really gives a crap about the cultural part of it, but I definitely see a difference in him with Braxton than I did earlier. And maybe he's learned over the years that there's certain things that you got a better response from than others.
Well, there's a difference between being coach and being dad, and that's what I learned. I was always trying to be coach with my first son, and I needed to be more dad. Right, and I learned that through some of the mistakes that I made, and we all make mistakes, even as parents. We can all look back and say, "Gosh, I wish I'd have tried this differently." I have an opportunity to do that because of where I'm at with my son now, and I've learned that it's not always just get on him. Sometimes I got to love him. I can let other people I can trust other people to get on him.
Yeah.
I need to be more dad than coach because there's going to be time when he needs dad. So doesn't mean I'm easier on him. Doesn't mean I don't expect him to try his best. But I also need him to know that if he doesn't, then Dad's going to be there for him.
Yeah.
Corey, would you? Only by Corey, I would not let him take his shirt off at the pool for sure.
He would do it before he got out of the parking lot.
He got his build. I'm
Yeah.
like, we got all these girls here, and they got Corey. I'm like,
Look
okay,
at this.
Let's take a pick.
Yeah.
Ron or Corey.
Yeah. I think he's on more videos with his shirt off than he is with him on.
No.
I went to a show with them, and where was it? Somewhere in Florida, I forget. And I go on the bus before the show to have a couple drinks, and they're both in there with like the bands, so they get their pump on.
And you got your tequila drink.
Yeah, I'm just drinking, going, good Lord, who wants to work out right now? I want a pound
Well,
drink.
I think
one person over there, the mayor, we need to get her to do that. Like, drink the drink. We'd rather have somebody drinking tequila than doing those.
No doubt,
Yeah,
doing the
you know what I mean?
bands.
See, the only thing this is missing
Whipped cream.
Yeah.
Go bring some whipped cream. I'll show you exactly how it works. Yeah.
For $1,000,
I learned-
Frank, we'll get you your whipped cream.
I see. I learned something new about him today. He has a whipped cream fetish.
Yeah. He likes it fluffy.
Frank, you've talked about being good friends, but you know where I live, right?
Yeah, I know.
Stop
you.
by and see me
Well, you
sometime.
know what the problem is, Ron? You've at the Peninsula, you've made some great changes to the golf course. The one thing that sucks about it is the road doesn't go by your house anymore. I had to go back. I was trying to get there.
You can get there.
Well, not on a cart.
You could now. You're allowed. If it's not cart path only, you can drive down that little.
Well, it was
hill.
cart path only the day we played.
Yeah, that's-
and I wasn't walking, that far to get to.
I wouldn't either.
He was nice
alcohol.
enough. He was nice enough to open up his gate, which I don't know if it's always open or not. But
No.
he put some drinks in the fridge for us and
Can't get
invited
over
us to
there.
come over.
They got rid
But
of that.
Yeah, you can't get over there
I'm
anymore.
glad
I
they
know.
did, but the stupid thing is that grass they put in. Whoever thought of that? Like they had. This is a funny story. It was growing about this high. So this guy, whoever designed it, wanted for a little bit the hay.
Well, how high is that? 3 feet?
Yeah,
2 feet?
whatever. So the guy, I talked to this guy, I don't want to mention his name. He was on number 6, and he said that grass was that high. Now it's not. But I said, "What you think?" And he goes, "Oh, fuck that." Excuse me again, beep beep. But he cut the grass. He said, "I took my ride lawnmower out there and ran it over."
Why does that matter?
Because when you're looking at your,
right on your
house,
like
you're
around your
looking at-
fence, right outside your backyard.
Right.
Like
They're
a
so
field.
thick. Yeah, it's like
You want to be able to see the
I
golf
can't-
course.
It's almost
Yeah.
like a gated fence.
It looks
They
like no one's
changed
mowed
it
the
now.
lawn.
Yeah.
You know?
They changed it now, but I just I would like a video of that guy. Like I forget.
He
his
probably
name.
took a weed eater.
No,
There's no way he can mow that high
His
grass.
wife
Yeah.
told me he started laughing at that. We were Renee. Did the guy cut the grass down? The guy that we were at the Peninsula City went out with his riding lawnmower and cut the grass down. Yeah. Okay.
Wow. That's
I mean-
he
Oh, that's
wanted-
not the other one. That's the old whipped cream. I can't do that. I need a ready whip. Yeah, we're good. We're good. That's the stuff I used last night.
That's the stuff you put on.
Yeah, we can't do that in front of our mayor-elect. Our mayor, future mayor.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So I guess we're gonna sign off here. I mean, 1 hour. That's
Yeah, I know. Wow. It's already been
It
an
flew
hour.
by.
I know.
Time flies.
Wow.
You got
When you're
anything
talking
else
whipped
you wanna say
cream and-
before you leave. I mean,
Thank
anything
you for
else?
having us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
thanks
we,
for coming,
we
guys.
always enjoy this.
Well, how do we tune into your show? I mean, you have a show.
Yep, it's called Suit Up Sports. You can get it on anywhere you get your podcast. We normally release a show on Monday and one on Friday during football. So wherever you get your podcast or YouTube or whatever. And we
Ron
talk-
and Rock Hill, we have some
Yeah, we're
great
on
sponsors.
TV on some, in Charlotte, certain
Nice.
markets. But
And we're talking about co-brokering. Maybe we'll be on
yeah,
that show
absolutely.
too. Yeah.
Get you on that station, and but we have fun. We talk mainly sports, and
Yeah.
during football season, Frank and I fight a lot. So there's a lot of that going on.
We don't agree on a lot of things.
Yeah,
or I tend to play devil's advocate.
Frank is very good at arguing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know
Regardless
that.
of what you if you
Yeah, I
ask him
know
if
that.
that's yellow right now, he's gonna be like,
A little orange in there. A little creamy.
By the way, that's banana cheesecake. Take a bite of that shit. It
I'm
is
going
so
to.
good.
I'm just waiting. I
Do it
didn't
right
want to
now.
stuff my face.
No, we
like,
got- yeah,
on
we gotta
camera.
do it right now. Let's
This
see
looks
it.
so good.
That's
What-
a banana cheesecake.
Banana
It's
cheesecake.
so
you
Yeah,
got
to
to
give it a
give me the
grade.
bourbon and give him the cake, and we're both happy.
1 through 10.
Oh,
When you're
there we
done.
go. Yeah, is it like a Twinkie or like a Susie Q? Oh,
10?
That is
I'll
really
taste
good.
it.
You would love it.
Yeah. Oh my
I'll
god.
taste it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I had a last story before we leave, but I had a girl come down and she said they brought that out to me and I ate it. She goes, "You don't need to be eating that." And I said, "Well, you don't need to be drinking 10 drinks."
Yeah, it's all calories. One way or the
I
other.
know when I eat it.
Yeah.
Right? It's really good. You'll keep eating it. There's no doubt.
That is delicious.
So, I mean, come to Red Rocks. You can get the banana cheesecake. You can get the tequila, the new drink we have. You might be able to see Michael and maybe
Maybe.
you guys will come
I'm
by. I know
the
you
If
parents
I
love
didn't have to go to
football.
football practice, I'd take
Put
a
that cream on it a little bit. Yeah.
You got it.
Ron's over there getting a little rise in the
Don't
table.
go to practice. You started to practice without it.
I was over at Red Rocks. What were you doing there?
Yeah. Just so you
This
know,
man
Renee-
was spraying
hey.
cream on me.
Renee gave me my pill this morning, so it sure is. I woke up with that pill for my legs.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah. So, well, thanks for coming on. Thanks for driving up, and love you guys.
We appreciate you
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for coming, guys.
Friendship.
Appreciate
Love you
it.
guys too. It's always
Yeah.
fun.
We're signing off.
We'll sign off here.
There we go.
Let's get our music
Where
going.
we are,
Ron's
we
going
are.
to hit this. We'll give you the heads up when we're off.
Ron, it's another fantastic evening at Red Rocks. I love coming to your restaurant. The friendly service, the atmosphere, this place has it all.
Well, we have something for everyone, Mike. We can have a steak, you can have pasta, we have seafood, we have a kids menu. We have everything you need.
Well, thanks, Ron. Really appreciate you.
Red Rocks Cafe, newly renovated, your complete dining experience.
Hey, Austin.
Hey guys, mind if I sit with you?
Absolutely.
What should I do with this?
Put it over there by my two.